Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the automatic Protech Godson. Definitely a larger knife than I thought it was going to be. I was actually shocked by the difference in size between this guy and the larger one, and actually the size of this guy and the larger one. Bizarre. This is a different version than the base. I will link the Protech Godson and Godfather right down below so you can check out all the different forms they come in. The base price of these is just incredible. I can't believe it. But this is a more expensive version that's coming in the raw aluminum and the leather inlay, and then yes, the lanyard comes with it. I know people ask me, like, did you put a lanyard on it? No, lanyard came with it. This was actually sent to me by @BaconSwagFL on Instagram. Please give him a follow. It's because of people like him that I'm able to bring you guys daily knife content. It's also because of my generous patrons. Thanks so much for supporting me. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, there's a link for that right down in the description. And please follow me on Instagram at @metal_complex. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. This is the smaller one. So it's not a huge knife, but it's bigger than I thought. Overall length coming in at 7.5 inches overall. Blade length coming in at about 3 1/8, and your cutting edge is coming in at exactly 3 inches. So this is what I'd call a medium-sized knife. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons real quick up against the gigantic Protech Godfather. Holy moly. Seriously, I can get a full, because of the profile, I can get a full grip on this guy. 4 fingers. Look at the size difference here. Man, Godfather is gigantic. All right. I'm going to close that. Up against the Spyderco. Nope, up against the Ontario Rat Model 1. So you can see here, Rat 1. Full-size knife for sure. It's about medium. How about up against the Spyderco PM2 and Para 3? You can see here, kind of in between, closer to the size of the Spyderco Para 3. Not quite as long as the PM2. And last but not least, let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and its little brother, the Mini Griptilian. Definitely in between here. Mini Griptilian, not quite as long, and Griptilian or Ritter Hogue a little bit longer. How's the action on this guy? Extremely powerful. This is a Protech. You know what? Normally we don't talk about action here, but old habits die hard, so we'll just talk about it real quick. This is a Protech knife. If you don't know, Protech automatic knives fire very hard. Considering this guy does not have a huge blade or thick blade, it's really impressive how, bam, how snappy this thing is. We'll talk a little bit more about the action here in a second, but just rest assured, it's fantastic. Hardware check. Normally I say, hey, we'll get out my tools. They're very inexpensive and very recommendable, but we're not going to use those today because this is a hex head. That's fine. Those are common. You've got a couple of screws back here, nothing on the show side, hex head pivot, and then a couple of T6 body screws. Pretty simple. If you're going to take apart your Protech knives, be careful. They're a little bit more complicated than a sandwich or pillar construction liner lock or frame lock, right? And honestly, the warranty on that, check with Protech. I don't speak for them. I'm not going to advise it. I'm not going to say definitely get in there and break your warranty, or it definitely doesn't void the warranty. I have no idea. That's something you take up with Protech. But yeah, minimal hardware, and it's not going to be super complicated. So if you do it, you know, in my opinion, this is it's good. The way that they've got it put together is great. Let's go ahead and do carry profile up against the Spyderco Para 3. You can see here thickness, almost exactly the same. Maybe just a teeny tiny little bit thinner. Profile, that's definitely where this thing excels. Overall, carry profile up against the PM2 and Para 3. This is basically just a long rectangle or pill body knife, right? It's not thick. So height, yeah, it's definitely better. It's going to be easier to carry than the PM2 or Para 3. And length, you're looking at, gosh, almost exactly the same as the Para 3. So yeah, not an issue. Let's take a look at blade stock thickness. I'm going to guess, man, I'm going to guess 115 thousandths. I can be wrong often though. You know, sometimes the body scales throw off my guess. Okay, more like 110 thousandths. So that was close. The body is made out of aluminum. That's generally what you're going to get with Protech knives. Let's take a look at the inside here real quick. You can pick up my flashlight down in the description. We don't have any milling or anything on the inside, but it really doesn't need it because this isn't an overly bulky or heavy knife. Weight on this guy coming in at 3.21 ounces. All right, that's not a weight that's going to bother me, but do with that information what you're going to do. I think that's great. This might still be illegal for a lot of people, considering it is an automatic knife and considering the blade length is a little tiny bit over the line for the 3-inch mark. So, you know, consider your local laws before you pick something like this up. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the anatomy. I really like how this looks. I've said this many times. The Godson and Godfather are obviously meant to be sort of a modern take on the old sort of mobster stiletto look, right? If we're talking about swing guards, or we're talking about swivel guards or lever-lettos, right? Italian automatic knives had a very specific look to them. Long and slender and pointy, right? The, you know, what they were intended to be used for, you can use your imagination. But on this channel, we look at everything as a tool. So for EDC, I really appreciate this profile because, like I've mentioned earlier, it carries really easily. And surprisingly enough, it actually is pretty easy to hang on to, and that's due to this area right here. Right, we come up and then it comes out a little bit. So you have that kind of reminder, hey, you're getting up kind of close to the blade. This is where you're supposed to stop. And you do. You're able to get nice and close to the cutting edge, and that's great. On the downside, there's really nothing locking you into this knife. So if you're going to work in like a slippery environment, I can hold on to this, but I don't have lines like on the Spyderco Para 3, right? Or like on the Rat. You don't have this specific area for your index finger to lock in, right? And on this one, there's no texturing. Now, if you know Protech, they offer a bajillion different versions of every knife, and that's something that I appreciate. By the way, these are made in the United States. Definitely made in the United States. Another reason I really love Protech. But, yeah, they make a bajillion different versions. And I've seen, you know, in the past, like, different models from Protech, they do some knurling sometimes. So maybe there's a version of this out there that has more, you know, lines that offer texture and a little bit more grip. This version with the leather inlay, not so much. You're just gonna have to tighten your grip on it. So that's something you're gonna need to be aware of. But the grip is comfortable. For being, you know, there's no guidelines on how you're supposed to, here's the handle, grab it however you're going to grab it. And it's pretty comfortable. And that's because they do an excellent job of knocking these edges down. And their pocket clip is not something that creates a hotspot, at least in my experience. So that's fine, really. And also, it just looks good. This is an attractive profile to me. It almost has that symmetrical dagger look, right? You have a lot of symmetry going on in the handle. Because of the blade and because of how they got to do this, they've got the pivot and the firing button mounted slightly off center, and I would imagine that has to do with how the spring throws the blade from the closed position, right? So that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's just the position that it has to be in. The handle shape itself is symmetrical, and the way that they've got the inlay, other than this very top area right here, it does have symmetry in it, and that's great. Man, the firing power is just ridiculous. If you've ever been on the fence about a Protech knife, and you're like, I don't know, right? If you've handled like some Kershaw Launch Series automatic knives, or you've handled like the Boker Kalashnikov, these fire better. The power on these things, so you can actually see it. It makes my hand shake. Power on these things is awesome. They are consistently powerful. I just love how Protech knives feel. It's awesome. But yeah, everything looks great. The leather inlay is kind of odd. This is the only... Protech is the only company that I've ever seen. I'm sure they're not the only ones to ever do it, but it's the only company that I've ever seen put leather as an inlay material. All right, leather can expand and contract if you get it wet. I don't know if it's going to be more or less resilient to certain things, right? I mean, they've got lots. If you don't like the leather, then don't go for the leather one. They've got different versions of it, right? But, okay, that's the way that it is. The standard versions of these knives come in different colors of, different Type 3 hardcoat anodizations of, you know, colors of aluminum, right? And then like maybe a standard tumbled or bead blasted blade. Very, very inexpensive. I'll tell you right now, this guy comes in, when it was available, about $220. The standard version of this knife comes in at $140. That's an excellent price for a U.S. made knife of this quality. That is a stupidly excellent price. Generally, I save that for the end. Here we are 10 minutes in. Yeah, it's excellent. I don't know if you guys can tell. At the end of this review, I'm going to conclude with this being a recommendable knife. Protech does such a good job with their pricing and the materials, and their fit and finish is just really good. In fact, I'm gonna cover, in depth the parts that I normally cover in depth, but I'm gonna speed through a few things. Fit and finish on this, it's excellent. There's absolutely nothing to complain about. The positioning of everything, the fitment of everything is great. The blade looks great. We have this sort of bayonet style grind. Blade stock thickness is not super thick. It does get reasonably thin down here, but it's thicker than it would be if it were a fully flat ground blade because of where it drops. That's okay because they're achieving a certain look. Tip, definitely pointy, not durable. This is not a knife that you want to go doing hard use stuff, poking and prying around, right? Definitely going to be excellent for your breaching and puncture tasks, and it's going to be a pretty good cutter as well. It's not going to be the best thing in the entire world, right? But if you need to get a knife out and make a quick cut, it's probably going to get the job done. It's in my favorite steel of all time, 154 cm, and I'll throw CPM 154 in there as well because the powder process in terms of 154 cm doesn't add that much of a benefit despite a slight increase in toughness. That was actually information I got directly from Protech. Steels with, the larger carbide formation in the composition might benefit more from the powder process, like, for example, the ingot form of D2 versus the CPM version or powder metallurgic version of D2. That's an entirely different monster where, the difference between this and its powder form brother is not really that much. So, both of those are right in there. You like that more than 20 CV and M390 and all that? Yeah, I do, because it's stainless, it's pretty tough, it's easy to touch, it's incredibly easy to touch up, and it just makes more sense for me day to day. I still like this steel over everything else, and the performance is very similar to like Damasteel, RWL34, right? Some other really, really popular steels out there right now. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all in this price range. I love this steel. You will still see CPM 154 being offered on super expensive custom knives nowadays that cost well over $1,000. So no, I don't have an issue with 154 cm, and I will continue to preach about it for a long time to come. Let's go ahead and talk about the firing button. This is recessed, which is the way to do that. That way you're not accidentally bumping into stuff and accidentally deploying the knife. There's virtually no chance that this thing will go off in your pocket because the way I'm going to carry it, button is up against my leg. It's recessed, right? It would take a very odd amount of force, a very specific amount of force to get it to do that. I've been carrying automatic knives. I'm in Kansas. I can carry these things. I carry them a lot. My Protech gets carried all the time. It has literally never gone off in the pocket. I've never had an automatic knife go off in my pocket. I've been carrying them for years, so no issue there. The lanyard is a lanyard. It is made of leather. I don't know why we're doing that. There's a loop back here, which is great. It is actually not being prioritized over the clip, so that's fine. I don't have a problem with how they do that. Pocket clip is just excellent. Recessed screws. It actually fits into a slot on the frame. No left-handed carry position for the pocket clip. If I'm not mistaken, Protech does make a few left-handed knives. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I like how it looks. I don't like that the bill comes straight at the end, but it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty small, right? I want it to end right here so that we have the continuous ramp. But okay, solid A- of a clip, right? Hardware looks great. Very simple. Centering on this guy is dead on. And as far as blade, you saw that. I did that left-handed with my index finger, about flew out of my hand. These things are, I can't emphasize that enough. If you've never handled these, they're powerful. No blade play, nothing, up, down, left, or right. This thing is solid. It's something that I have been experiencing with Protech knives for quite some time, is their consistency and lockup, solidity, and the power behind the blade. What can I complain about here? There are no specific ergonomic lines that are designed to really securely lock you in, so you got to consider that. It is an automatic knife, so it's not going to be legal for a lot of people, and it's over the 3-inch mark. I really feel like they missed an opportunity here with this guy for at least the 3-inch areas of the world. Just make it 2.9 inches. Why do we have to make it 3.1? Like, that's weird. Okay, though, that's fine. I mean, I still, honestly, considering where look at this. there's my 4-finger grip. I got plenty of room, right? So, I mean, not that that's where they're going. Just, can Metal Complex get a 4-finger grip on this? We better make sure and make it 3 foot. No, they weren't thinking about that, so that was stupid, right? But there's plenty of room for the average sized hand to still get a full grip on this guy, even if they shortened up the body and the blade, right? Anyways, tip, not super durable, but they were going for a certain look, so that's understandable. Let's see here. On this particular version, leather's not really for me. Pocket clip, I wish it didn't have that little thing down there. The nice thing about Protech knives is they always consider where the tip is and whether or not you can touch the blade, right? So these opening areas, despite having a slender profile or a narrow profile to achieve a certain look, right? Those are oftentimes that's when you end up with a situation where you can actually touch the blade on the spine or down here, right? No, not the case here. Boy, this is good. And like I said, $140 for a color and either bead blast or probably satin or, you know, tumbled or whatever. Yeah, guys, this is a cool knife. If you can legally own an automatic knife, right? Sometimes you can own it and not carry it, right? Whatever. You like autos? This is cool. Honestly, I can see a place for something like this in everybody's collection if you're into automatic knives. Both the Protech Godfather and Godson are just excellent. These are really cool and just like everything else in Protech's line, very reasonably priced. So yeah, I'm going to say what I always say. I'll link this guy, all of the different variants right down below. I will link this guy and all of the different variants right down below. And I'll link Protech knives in general so you can look at their ridiculously massive variety of excellent knives. If this isn't doing it for you, but you like autos, take a look at what else Protech has available, because you're sure to find something that will, you know, that'll do it for you, right? Guys, I think that's going to be pretty much it. Thanks so much once again to Bacon Swag FL for sending these in for review. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.